Dave and I have talked about this a lot. Just the one question that I don't really want to hear today is what if? We don't have time. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu, it's like a 12 to 14 year journey to get your black belt. There's a lot of what ifs in that system, they're all built in, but if I explain on every technique how we're actually factoring those things in, it will take us all day. Where I can, I'll explain the most common concerns. I know particularly with you guys being self-defense focused, you'll be worried about striking. Everybody is always quick to tell me that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has no striking in it. That doesn't mean we don't know how to deal with that. Okay, we factor that into every single thing we do. We just don't hit each other, that's all. But we do factor in defense against strikes, and the proof is in the pudding when you see how successful Jiu-Jitsu guys are in MMA at the moment. They know how to keep themselves safe. So I'll build that into what we're doing today, but if you do have questions, just shout out. And then at the end, if Dave's happy for it, I'm more than happy to do a little Q&A session, because I know a lot of you guys haven't had a lot of exposure to BJJ, so we'll field some of those questions you've been posting in the group. Well, some of us have been posting a lot of questions. Cool, cheers guys.
Alright. Forward, block, hit, grab here, or in here, pull in tight, come in behind, take him down. He's going all the way down on my knee, so this knee becomes a check. From here, do this big telegraph, because this arm's going to see it. It needs to shoot out this way with a ridge hand and come in here. Hits him straight on this pressure point. Okay, so as that comes in, block, shoot, we can grab this way, or pull straight into here, pull in tight. This one comes around, keep him tight here, block, your center, not this way, because you guys are going to have a field day with this. Down to that roll.
Okay.
So whatever hand you turn with, down onto that arm, that's where I want him cancelling out that arm. Bang, from here. Okay, I'll turn him onto his side, push down with this, gives me this spring from here. I'll step back to here, shoot his head down, come back, and hopefully catch him with a heel on the side of the face.
Oh, it's right.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Joe, did you?
No. Right. No, I've broken mine up.
Get ourselves in that position. So he throws a hit. Okay, get yourself here. Now, this technique is really only going to work if you use this grip here, as opposed to the alternate one that Dave showed you. So we're going to go palm to palm for now. Okay, now when I get that grip, I want to make sure that I'm pulling my forearm to my head and I bury my head on top of his shoulder. Okay, it's critical that I trap that shoulder to get this choke. Okay, so when I do the takedown, what's going to happen is instead of releasing this grip, I'm going to hold onto it. Okay, so I take him down. I'm doing it slowly because this is quite a dominant position on his neck. Now notice I keep my weight on this side of that. I don't want to lean over, otherwise he's going to reverse me. So I keep my weight here. Now the first thing I need to do is change my grip. So make sure you can see my hands. You're going to go to what we call monkey grip. Okay? Everyone's seen barrel of monkeys, right? That's why we call it monkey grip. That's barrel of monkeys. So fingers to fingers. The reason why I use this grip in this instance is it gives me better pulling traction, whereas this is not a great pulling grip. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take a little step back and drag that so he ends up flat on his back. Cool? Everyone happy with that so far? I want him flat on his back. This is a critical technique. A lot of people try this choke with him facing away. You're never going to get the leverage. I want him facing up. Okay, now what I do is I sprawl out away from him. Okay, so now he has no reversal. He has no ability to escape because my weight is on the wrong side of his center line. If I'm leaning over him, he'll tip me. Okay, now to finish the choke, I just turn my head. See what happens to his arm when I turn my head? His arm now lines up with his carotid artery. Here, and I drive all of my weight that way to get the choke. Okay, you see guys in UFC doing this all the time? Okay, the problem with that there is it provides leverage to the back of the neck. Guys will tap out in training to that because it hurts the neck, but they won't necessarily go to sleep because you're not directly affecting the carotid arteries. Okay, so this is more of a training technique, and guys will tap to the pain. But we're dealing with self-defense here. We're dealing with the street, and you can't trust someone to tap out. There's no tap outs in the street. Okay, we need this person to go to sleep so we can finish the fight in a humane way without doing a whole heap of damage to him and going to court for it. So the idea is put him to sleep instead of creating pain in the neck. Is everyone happy with that? Yep? So let's just go from that. I'm going to skip Kenpo because I'm really embarrassed to do it playing it. Okay? So I'm here. Critical details. Pull my forearm in really tight. So it's all about my forearm against his carotid artery and bury my head. This in itself can be very uncomfortable for him. Okay? When I take him down, I stay tight. See, I bury my head. I can't lift my head here, otherwise his arm comes out. Technique's lost completely. Okay? I'm here. Now I need him where? On his back. Awesome. You guys rock. Monkey grip and pull. Okay, notice that monkey grip gives me the ability to pull my right arm around his neck a little bit more. Okay, I turn my head. So I'm trying to put my chin in his eye, basically. And now I drive my chest into his arm to finish the choke. Cool? Everyone happy with that? That's beautiful. Now sprawl out. So you basically nuts on the floor. That's it, yeah. Now drag him backwards so he's flat on his back. Or sink that right arm around. Now turn your head towards me and drive your chest into his arm. Or, there's a ton of leverage in this joke. Like a ton of leverage. Using your whole body to drive his arm into his arm. And your other arm is blocked in my I tend to go, like we use baby grip a lot, yeah, because it's hard to break. This can break if it's a strong guy, whereas this is super strong to use both hands as opposed to one. You want to say? Now goes down when he does that. Very good. Now, all that, so you're not turning the floor. Turn your head towards me now, and now try to chest very hard. There you go. Get all the way. Use your legs, grind your body into the arm. So try not to roll.
Somebody find me. I'll find someone.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You alright, Del? You alright? So all that stuff can build.
shot next.
Oh, no, right, fair enough.
That's what I was asking
Hands up if you need help. So basically, they lined up. Where would you rather be? In? Exactly, right? But luckily for us, to be perfectly honest, if he's not a jiu-jitsu guy, this position tends to be quite easy to, or not easy, simple to escape. Okay, first threat I've got to worry about is what you reckon? Strikes, yeah, absolutely. I don't want to take a hit, because it only takes one hit to put me out, especially from here. If he catches me with my head up, 1, 2, I'm probably going out. Okay, so I've got to make sure that doesn't happen. So I bury my chin, but I keep my head on the floor, and I'm just going to cover up here. Notice I form a shield, my forearms come together. Guys, critical here, my hands have to be in contact with my head, not this. I see a lot of people do this. You're going to get secondary impact while you're hitting yourself, all that kind of stuff. Okay, the other thing is, all he's got to do now is grab one of my hands, push it to the ground, and now he's open, he's attacking me. He's probably not going to do that in a street fight. He's going to push out on the ground, he's going to punch in the hole now. Yeah, I've only got one hand to defend. Yeah, lots of trouble. Okay, so if my hands are on my head now, that's a lot harder for him to manipulate. Okay, we're not going to stay here. This is one frame in a movie reel. Okay, a split second here. As he goes to hit, watch what I do. Boom. Yeah, knee in the back, get his hands on the floor. Boom, knee in the back, get his hands on the floor. Now the critical thing here is his weight is off my hips, which is where I want it to be. Okay, now we're going to do one of our warm-up drills from before. Hopefully you remember. My foot steps to the outside of his foot. Everyone see that? Just on one side, steps to the outside. Now what I'm going to do is just reach, grab his arm, and I pull his elbow all the way to my center line. Okay, I'm not going to hug it in here, all the way to my center line. Now we're going to do the bridge and roll drill that we did in our warm-up. My hips are up, and I'm going to roll over my shoulder. Well, now what do you reckon first threat is?
He's going to struggle.
He's going to try and hit me, or he's going to try and grab me. Okay, so I need to make sure I've got good base. Notice my knees are wide. Yeah, I don't want to get rolled over straight away because you just spent a lot of effort getting here. So generally speaking, the first thing I do is grab his biceps here and push him away from me. If he tries to hit me now, okay, that's quite difficult. Jiu-jitsu guys obviously got stuff from here, but that's not what we're worried about. Yeah? What's my first instinct? What am I going to do?
Get out.
Maybe hit him? Yeah, why not? Yeah? Give him something to think about. Where does his hands go when I throw hits? Okay, now we're talking self-defense. What am I worried about? I'm on the ground. Alright, so hands to the legs. Hands to the legs. Cool. 2. Push his knees to his head and stand up. Okay, I keep my weight on his legs because yeah, look at these legs. He's going to kick out. So now all I do is I push his legs and I step to the opposite side. Now I'm good to go.
Right, bang, bang. Just pushed it up. Right, you want his legs? Cross over.
See now he's got close, stop that. So just grab the 2 arms and pull straight to your guts. Yeah, and pull straight into your guts. Yep, now try. Watch out, watch out.
I've got 45 degrees here. If I go further, he's going to roll me over. If I go down, I've got no strength. I should be able to support him from here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to my side. As I do, I catch him with this, over onto here, and then I'll catch him with this. That's the 3 moves. Okay. There's a lot of stuff we can play from that. We'll show that, and basically the theme is that we're going to have on our back, directly on our back. Okay, so from again. I don't want to go from here back because you're just going to knock yourself out. From here, I get as low as I can. Do my break foot bang, and I stop him right into here. Yes, you can hit him straight in the groin. Brings his head down further, and as I turn over, I'll catch him this way. Bang, and then catch him whatever target's there, and I'm going this way. So it's going from here a little bit like what you do with the warm-up. Okay? All we're going to do is basically get down from here. So down up from here, the left leg comes up. As we roll to our side, catch him in the groin, brings his head down, roll over onto his side, like a slicing side kick to here, which goes into the next move, and then left kick to here. Okay.
That was fine. That was it. That's it. Is this person crowding your space? Okay, if you're threatening a kick and they start to step back, what do you got room to do? What do you guys want to do? You're all Kenpo guys, right? You want to stand up and use the tools that you're comfortable with. So that stuff should be pretty straightforward. The real danger is going to be this guy crowding you, okay, coming in and beating your legs here where you can't kick him. Okay, if someone's over your hips, you've got no chance. Like, if Nat tries to kick me here, it's going to be very difficult, even with long legs. Okay, very difficult because I'm crowding the hips. And really, this is where a guy wants to get to because he wants to hit you. He's going to come over and try and hit you from here. Cool, everyone happy with that? But this is what I see as being the biggest threat in this scenario where you're on your back, is someone crowding you. If they give you room, everything's sweet, just stand up. Okay, so we'll go straight into that. So I'm on my back. Okay, so first things first, you never want to, can you just stand? Because that's where we've come from. You never want to have feet on the ground, really, if the guy is in range to you. Okay, a foot on the floor is something for him to post on. If he puts his weight on my knee now, I can't move. Cool, I'm dead. He's going to come straight over to me now. Cool, never feet on the floor. I always want to have my feet up. Okay, so if I've been unable to kick, I know to kick, I need to post here. I'm not saying don't do that. But what I'm talking about is if this guy's starting to come in and crowd, and if he's scooped his foot out of the way, his foot needs to come off the ground straight away. And what I'm really looking for is his hip. Okay, I'm looking for his hip. But in this instance, we're in trouble. Okay, he walks right in, and I lose both my feet here, and he's trying to hit me. Cool. So this is where we end up.
Like this. Okay, as this comes on from here, now as he edges forward, this is going to now take the back of the knee this way, straight down and up into here. Sort of come back this way. But what you're actually doing, if he steps forward, is you're actually cocking this leg up from here for this. Full on, bang, straight into there. If it comes to that. Okay, that's the end of it. Okay, so we're back down from here. Okay, now I'm going to step over to the side. Okay, and as this is just going to sneak around. So this is going to take here at the knee, just going to hook down with this kick into the back of the knee joint as you sit up. From here you've got this.
On the knee. Okay? If you apply this full force, you'll tear the person's ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament. That is at least a year out of training with good rehab. At least a year. Okay, it's a pretty serious thing. So please do this really slowly. Okay, this is actually an illegal technique in jiu-jitsu up until black belt. It's seen as being that dangerous. That said, I'm going to show you how to do it properly and how to destroy someone's knee. Okay? So use this with all the responsibility of your designated age. Okay? It's the palm of the left hand goes on the pinky toe. It's called a toe hold, so don't grab the foot. Problem is the foot's too close to the joint, which means he's got leverage. I want leverage, so I come out to the end of the lever. Okay? Right on the pinky toe. Okay? Notice I use my leg to trap here so I can come underneath. And now I'll give myself a wristwatch. No thumb. If you grab with the thumb, you're not getting all the way around. So no thumb. Come all the way around. See how tight my grip is? Okay, and I keep everything in nice and tight. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is get the angle right. So what I'm really trying to do, I'm going to say this as delicately as I can, given we have young people here. I'm going to try and put his big toe right in his butt. That way. Okay, that's the angle that I need to get the most torque on the ACL. If I stay up here, it's quite hard. Okay, call this was checking the oil. Yeah, try and put that right as well. Fix that Terry Parents I taught you. Cool. Everyone happy with that?
Are you holding in with your heels? Just I can't see with his knee.
There's not a lot going on here. Like we will do this from all kinds of different positions in
Okay.
Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not too worried about my legs. Really, all that's happening is as long as I can anchor the knee, I'll get a lot more torque on there. Yeah. But leg-wise, doesn't really matter where I'm at. I'm just isolating my legs so you can focus on. Sorry, isolating my arms so you can focus on what's happening. But after the drink break, I'll show you something that we would do from here. Cool. But the key is big toe to butt. But the grip is the thing. Yeah. The hand that's on the same side, that's the one that grabs. This way starts getting a little bit dicey. Sweet? Happy? Toe hold? Cool. Okay, but if I now move my right leg like a windscreen wiper in an arc that way. Get ready, man. This is good. And I bridge my hips in, knee out, hips in. I'm going to completely destroy his right knee. Okay, the patella will come out and the ACL will snap. Yeah, this is long term, never fixes knee. Okay, this is not to be played with lightly. Okay, but this is an excellent way to control a guy because if he tries to get out of this now, everything hurts. Yeah, he just doesn't want to do it. Okay, so this is an excellent way to keep control of someone while a friend calls the police or something like that. Well, you don't have to damage him. You can just sit here, and every time he tries to fight it, he feels where the damage is, and he stops. Okay, just sitting here, that's really uncomfortable. I know. Yeah, he doesn't want to stay here too long. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, I've just done scissor takedown. I need to make sure my knee comes underneath when I come up. Okay, I don't want to go this way. I'm going to lose him completely. So as I come up, hook. This can be any way. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. I prefer to have the top hand matching the knee that's doing the lock. Yeah, I just find I have better base, a lot better support here. But it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's up to you guys. Okay, if I decide to let this out, all I do is start to lift. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to rip that leg out. So I go straight to my modified back mount, and I can finish if I need to. Okay, so everything ties together. So I've done my scissor takedown. You didn't want one more, right? Did you? Knee comes underneath. Okay, if you want, you can hook here just to make sure. It's up to you. Okay, if you're quick enough, you don't need it. Knee underneath. Okay, foot stays inside. Grip, grip. If you want to practice submission, it's hips in, knee out, windscreen wiper. Okay, be really slow with this. Seriously, this is not nice. Okay. Happy?
Where's the safety part of that technique? Would it be just to lean on?
Tap.
Just to lean on? Yeah, I know.
So if you want to practice this with absolutely no danger, just don't bridge your hips in.
Okay, but you go right away through it more or less. You can more or less take
Yeah, you can get your grips up and it will be okay. Just don't bridge your hips in, but still do it slowly because it is really dangerous. If someone's particularly tight in their legs, then they might be more susceptible to this than someone else. Cool? Yeah? I know you Kenpo guys just want to destroy everything, so there's one more way to do it, right?
You can see it, so.
No one's flexible enough to stop this, trust me. This will work on Van Dam. Cool? Let's do it. Windscreen wiper, we call it. There we go. Grip up. And now stand. Keep a little more flexible. Yep. You got to start it. The easiest way, I just start face down. So you guys know the takedown? Yeah. Yep. So right leg's going to go this.
Right leg forward, right leg over. That one? Around.
That was classy, wasn't it? It was.
It's either a shoulder or an elbow. Be careful of this. Okay, so this comes through. As I hit him, as I come through, I take him down from here. 1, 2, step through, 3, back fist here. All right.
Now, the chance to that is to not let you straighten your leg. So what you do is cross this leg over the top of your foot. Yeah, so I can't get it. Now, all I do is so I can just angle up that. Angle that's right there. And now can you straighten it out?
They do it too, do they? Yeah. So, they're large. Never mind. Literally. Sorry. No, I didn't realise.
Just you wait and see. Just you wait and see.
You're not wearing anything else. Cool.
Yeah, just drop straight down onto there, yeah, into there. I've got it from here and you can't leave it. I've got a tight heel, you just pull it knee to the chest. So that's what happens. If I do it wrong, I'll face it this way.
As Dave mentioned, like he was spot on in that the Kenpo wide kneel stance is exactly what we would use here in Jiu Jitsu as well, dominating his hips. Okay, so all we're going to do now is attack the obvious. Like it's bleeding obvious. We're going to attack the legs. Well, obviously, I'm not going to worry about his neck because his hips and his legs are between us, which means he's got leverage and I don't. So we're going to attack what's nearest. Okay, so all I'm going to do is bring my knee straight across his belly and I'll drop weight as I do. See how I'm nice and tight? Very, very tight. I'm isolating this hip now. I don't care about anything else, just that hip. Now I'm going to carve a circle around Nat's hip. As I do, I switch my arms. You want to see how I'm coming underneath his leg? And I drop onto my side here. Cool, everyone happy so far? Yep. So I drop onto my side. I'm pinching my knees together. Now what I need to do is I need to make sure I keep a very tight grip on Nat's leg. Okay, I can't have any space here. So I hug it right in next to my head. Okay, I hope no one's scared of feet, but you need that right up against your head here. Cool? I just cross my arms. Bridge my hips, squeeze my knees together. That's what we call a knee lock or a knee bar. Okay? Now, important detail here is this whole submission is built on leverage against the knee. So what that means is I need to be aware of where the knee is at all times in two aspects. One is I need the knee above my belt line. If that knee slips out, the lock's gone, you may as well get out and try and save your position because you're not going to get it no matter how hard you squeeze. Okay, knee above the belt. Second one is I need to know which direction the knee's pointing in because I need to hyperextend it, so I need to take it in the opposite direction that it's facing. Now, see a lot of people spin out, they're not holding it tight, the leg's facing to the side and they bridge their hips and the lock doesn't work because you're working at the wrong angle. Okay? So we're here. Okay, I bring my knee across. This is tight straight away. See how tight I am? His knee's on my chest, I don't let it leave. Change my grip here. Slide. Drop to the side. Okay, knees together. He can grab a hold, he can start punching stuff, but at the end of the day, nothing he does back there is going to change my mind. I'm taking his leg home, okay? Hug it in nice and tight. Close my grip. Squeeze the knees. Reach the hips. Go nice and easy on this because knees come on very, very quickly. Okay, so we're just going to practice that basic knee bar. Then I'm going to show you how he stops that and then how we stop him from stopping that. And how he just digs a deeper and deeper hole into leg lock city.
Spin with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little worried.
What he's going to do to defend this, okay? As I spin off, I'm not quick enough to get to the floor, he's going to hide his foot under his knee. Yeah, like a triangle. Will everyone see that? Yeah, everyone happy with that? Cool. This is a problem for me now. I can't straighten that leg because it's hidden. Okay, so the knee lock's gone. But I need to keep the same isolated control over this bottom hip here. Now what I'm going to do is roll. Okay, now have a look at my foot. See how it's underneath his butt? And I hide my knee under my foot. Okay, so now his hips are isolated. He can't put them on the floor, which means he can't get away from me. He's stuck here. Okay, now this leg is the problem. Okay, so all I do is I reach up and I grab it and I hide it in my armpit. Cross my grip and take an ankle up. Okay, sign his own death by it. So I'm going for the knee bar and he hides it. Straight away I recognise that. A lot of guys get here and say, "Ugh," and you spend 5 minutes here and then he gets up and he's punching you because he's on top. So you need to recognise that straight away. Can't get it, I roll. See how I hide my leg under there? I know this seems kind of complex, but that's to stop his hips from dropping to the floor. Because if he gets his hips down now, I'm never going to get that ankle. I need to isolate those legs. And this is a position I'm happy to play for a while. Reach over, pull it into my armpit. Okay? Bony part of your wrist, right on his Achilles tendon, not in the calf. Shin, give yourself a wrist watch, and reach. Okay? Guess what he's going to do to defend that? What's he going to do?
Turn out.
He's going to rip this leg out. Boom. And I'll take this one back and say thank you very much. Yeah? You're going to get one or the other. If he bends this one, just take your toe hold, check the oil with it. Okay, so now you've got knee bar, ankle lock, knee bar, toe hold. So I'm here, he hides his foot. No good to me. I roll him, stack him, capture that ankle. Bony part of the wrist and the Achilles tendon. Figure 4, get the tap, he rips it out, hook, turn again, take my knee bar, he bends, toe hold, check the oil. Either way, one of his legs is not going home with him tonight. Cool?
You can roll me. You can roll me this way.
That one stays in.
Or he rips that out, hook that. See, I extend that for a second, just so he can't recover. There's my knee bar, he bends, toe hold. Okay, I go for the toe hold, he hides it again. Okay, and all I do is lift him up, get my knee underneath, switch. And I'm just going to keep going all day. Yeah, he's got nowhere to go because his hips are dominating. Okay? Here. Okay? So one thing, I probably didn't cover this, but when I drop into this position, see my foot position, I'll make it nice and round, so then things roll around it. Yeah? So as soon as he gets down, I know I can't get this knee bar, I roll that way. Roll to the side, see how my foot picks his butt up?
So it's flat on the ground before that.
Hey?
It's flat on the ground.
It won't be. It probably won't be. But if it is, that doesn't mean anything because it doesn't stop it from lifting. It doesn't matter where the foot is. All I'm worried about is this. But see this position here, I pick him up with that foot and then I brace him with that one. So now this hip stays isolated. And then just reach over. Got it. So just got to make sure you're right on the Achilles there. It's the front of the ankle. A lot of people tap to the pain in the Achilles, but the Achilles won't snap. It's the front of the ankle that's going to go. This is the position you need to be in. So you're using this foot to pick him up, this leg to keep him there, so he can't escape. Because what he needs to do, he needs to keep his hips low to hip escape, just a little shrimp. That's what he needs to do. If his hips are up in the air, he can't put his feet on the floor, he can't escape. He's done. Absolutely done. Help or not?
So from here, 2, 3, 1, 2, straight over. Stop, stop, here. If you're pretty good with control, you can literally sort of do the, from here. I'm not putting weight on him, I'm just lifting hard just to get it from here, and then step off, and then this is here.
Okay, so one's just a load here.
That's actually a stop, not a step. And then you gotta get a beer. Am I lifting my head high enough in front of it? Stop again. Practice.
Yeah, these guys know what's coming. Yeah, go. Yeah, that's it. That's good stuff. In all seriousness,
Yeah, there's no way.
if he's here,
Yeah.
okay, if we're talking self-defense, then really at the end of the day, I don't know, you know what I hear everyone going, oh, I'll just strike, I'll go wild, I'll get his eyes. You know, how long is that going to take for me to get something? How long did this take for you guys to tap to before? Like a couple seconds, right? So maybe with a bit of adrenaline, you might last 4 seconds.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to get something back here against a jiu-jitsu guy, look where his head is.
Yeah.
There's no target set. Like, we don't show our eyes. Everyone says they're going to poke our eyes out. It's like, yeah, good luck. Yeah, we don't show our eyes. We're not that stupid. Yeah, there really isn't an escape. You're going out. All you can do is get desperate.
Yeah.
So the key is to catch this before it's locked.
Yeah.
So what we're really talking about is a back mount defense, not a rear naked choke defense. Yeah, because no one takes back mount and they've already got the choke. It doesn't work that way. Like he's going to get my back before he gets that choke in. So if I know the hooks are in, or he's just on my back in some other way, the first thing I need to do is protect my neck. That's why you see all these jiu-jitsu t-shirts getting around with protect your neck written on it. I've got to protect my neck. We call it, everyone's seen the movie Home Alone, right? So we call it Home Alone. Everyone get like this. Yeah? So chin down, arms on my neck. So now he's got nothing. Okay, it's very hard for him to get into that choke position. Now I don't want to stay here, right? This is not a good position for me to be in. What I'm looking for is a wrist. It doesn't matter which one. Okay, I'm just going to look for something and I'm going to get 2 hands on one. Cool, so now the choke's not there. I'm going to keep my chin down. It's hard to talk to you whilst I do it, so this isn't good posture. It would be here. Okay, but I get 2 on 1. And then what I need to do is to get this arm out of the equation. So if we're sitting up like this, which in jiu-jitsu is common, in a real fight it's probably not, but usually in jiu-jitsu we like to attack here, I need to get him flat on his back, and as I do it, I clear this arm, and I get myself away from the arm. Okay, so as soon as I get my shoulders flat on the mat, the choke is gone. Yeah, 2 things can't be in the same place at the same time. If the mats are on my back, he can't be.
Yep.
Okay, I'm still not out of dodge yet. What does it look like he's going to do here? He's going to try and mount me, okay, so I've got to stay real heavy on his legs here. So usually what I'll do is I'll start to shift my hips, push his arm across, come up. Okay. That is the hardest thing in all of jiu-jitsu to do, is to escape back mount. That is not something you go, okay, I saw a video, now I know how to get out of that. Because if the guy gets you back, you're done. There's a reason why that is the highest scored position in jiu-jitsu sport, because it's hard to get out of. He's got no weapons. He's got no weapons. Okay. All I've got to do is take his back, and he's a big strong guy. Just go turtle and open. He's a big strong guy. A lot bigger than I am. If I'm here and he tries to get out of this, there's nothing doing. Yeah, he's going to burn a lot of energy, and right at that moment when I feel him go weak, I attack. Yeah, so, and that's a lot of effort for me to hold on to a guy. I just got to play tight. So, yeah, unfortunately it's not a very nice answer. I know it's really hard to get out of. We've got 3 or 4 escapes that we drill from there because you have to. But man, that is the hardest thing to get out of. Yeah, there's a reason why all of jiu-jitsu is built around taking the guy's back. Right? It's what we're looking for all the time is the back. Number one priority.
So never voluntarily to give anyone your back.
But you said the story.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But you said it was a story with that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. We used to follow that and say never turn your back, but sometimes we do. But it's kind of, like, I'm going to say I'm really pretentious here, but that's kind of high level jiu-jitsu. But it might be something like Nat starting to pass my guard. He's coming around the side here, and it's going to be way too hard for me to get back and get my legs in there. There's a lot of pressure, so maybe I'll turn, give up my back, but I can come straight back and attack his legs. Only if I've drilled that and drilled it and drilled it and drilled it. Because there's a lot of risk there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of risk.
You're not staying there. You're not staying
No
there.
way. That's like a split
You're
second.
moving out. Yeah.
As a split
So
second.
as you said, that's one frame of the movie.
It's one frame of the movie, yeah, because another thing that a lot of guys, some of the guys in our gym are quite good at, is they'll get here and they'll just drop straight back out into their guard again. So the back is only shown for a split second, just enough to get him excited and think he's going to get something, to take his mind off what we're really doing. Yeah. There's a guy in the US called Jeff Glover, he's a really famous jiu-jitsu guy, and he starts his matches like this. Like this. Shows his back to his opponents to get them to commit to something. And he's just drilled a million techniques from that position. Yeah. It doesn't always pay off for him. But it's highly entertaining. So, to answer your question for beginners or people that are only doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu to supplement their other martial arts, then I would say never show your back. Yeah, because you won't have the skill level to get out of that problem. For the more advanced jiu-jitsu guys, and sometimes. Definitely sometimes, yeah. I do it too much. Especially against guys that start to get a little bit too good, they don't get away with it anymore. Yeah.
What's the difference between Americana and the Kimura?
Right, cool. Really simple stuff. Okay, Americana and Kimura are essentially the same lock. They're both a figure 4 shoulder lock. Okay, it's just names. Okay, figure 4 shoulder lock. So, okay, Americana, easiest way to remember, hand points upwards. Okay, hand points upwards, that's an Americana. Kimura is the other way. I would never do it from this position. This is not a real good position to get a Kimura from. But it's a Kimura. Yeah. Generally, the general rule, this isn't 100%, there's no rules in jiu-jitsu, but the general guideline would be if he's face up, hand up.
Yep.
Yeah, if he's face down, so maybe in my guard. Face down, hand down.
Okay.
Kimura is usually from bottom position.
Yeah.
Usually, not always, but usually from bottom position. I'm not really going to get, I can lock this up, but if he buries his elbow and puts all his weight that way, I'm never going to get the Americana from there. It's going to be really hard. I would have to switch out to a Chris lock. Yeah. So yeah, generally face up, hand up, face down, hand down. Does that make sense? The name's not important. Some people won't even call it that. They call it then arm lock, figure 4 lock.
Yeah.
Key lock is the big American one.
Yeah.
They call it a key lock. But yeah, in our gym we say that's a Kimura, that's an Americana, that's the most common terminology. Cool.
If you like,
No one else is up.
That's it, no.
Time to jump in, guys.
That's it.
We've got a few more minutes, so you're in a rush, or?
So when you were doing the when you got the wrist control from the back before,
Yeah.
would you maybe turn the arm and go for an arm?
Yeah, awesome question. That's an excellent question. Okay, so talking about this, would I go for an armbar? Yeah. Definitely. If I can. It's all about catching him quick. If he was savvy enough to take my back, that means he's got some grappling ability. So if he's switched on and I get this, he's not going to let that elbow point down, it's not going to be there. If I'm quick and I can get here, absolutely. I can finish a fight right here, he's on my back, there's an arm lock right there. Cool? But if he's savvy, he slides his elbow off my shoulder and it's gone. Yeah? So good pickup, and if you're quick enough to catch it, absolutely. And we do tend to test that out. When we first get that tool on, we'll test it out. If we can't get it, then we continue with the escape. And yeah, quick story. My guys are sitting here in this, but I've never seen my guys make this mistake since I've told the story, so it obviously worked. The state titles a few years ago, a bloke was 17-0 up in a match. It was a gold medal match. 17-0 is massive in jiu-jitsu. Like, you don't see that. That's very rare. That is a spanking. 17-0 up, took the guys back. There's about 8 seconds left on the clock. Dominating. Should have been going for a choke or what have you. He's sitting up. Yeah. The best position you're ever going to get in. He's here. And he goes for a rear naked choke. He goes 1. Remember what I showed you about the second hand? Comes behind. He goes like this. Yeah, because this is the classic way you get taught. Everyone teaches rear naked choke here. He goes like this. About 4 seconds left on the clock. 3, 2, loses the fight. 17-0 up. Yeah, absolute. Like it's not his fault. He was taught a rear naked choke that way. And I've seen it on DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lock your hand in your elbow, hand behind the head. See it all the time. But what you're doing is you're putting your hands in front of the guy where you can see it and where you can do that 2-on-1. Simplest thing in the world. So that's why we're always hands as close to our bodies as we can, so there's no leverage. Cool? That's a really good question to pick up. Nice. One more?
Sir.
Don't call me sir. I work for a living.
If you're grappling somebody who's much, much bigger than you, is there a specific move that's best, or just whatever you can get a hold of?
Not really. It's a good question. It always comes up. If you see Gracie, the grandmaster that started the whole thing, he was tiny. He was actually really frail. He was banned from doing sport when he was young. He actually learned jiu-jitsu from watching his brother, Carlos Gracie, teaching. He'd never actually practiced it. And one day, Carlos didn't rock up for a private lesson. And Elio said to the guy, I can run the lesson for you. He's like, really? I've never seen you do jiu-jitsu. He goes, no, I know it all. And he taught him this lesson. This guy came back to Carlos and said, I don't want to train with you anymore. I'm going to train with your brother. Carlos was like, what the hell are you talking about? He doesn't train. Yeah, he was a really, really small guy. And as a consequence, everything he built into jiu-jitsu is about leverage. Yeah, jiu-jitsu is all about leverage. So the idea is it should work for a smaller person against a larger opponent. But here is the problem. What if that larger person is as good at jiu-jitsu as you are? That is always going to be an advantage. Always. Yeah. So, you know, guys like Geordie and that, they're real big problems for me when we roll now. Because they've got skill level and they've got size. It's a big problem for me. So it doesn't matter if I've taught them everything that they do. The problem is they know how to shut me out. So the size is always going to be an advantage. But to answer your question specifically, there's no small person techniques in jiu-jitsu. I see these DVDs come out going jiu-jitsu for the smaller person. It's like, wow, if that would work for a 50-kilo person against a 100-kilo person, why aren't they teaching it just to everyone? Because if there's a technique that's better, wouldn't you just make that your default technique, not keep it in here and wait for a small person to come in the gym? So it's really just about skill level and, to be honest, for the small person to keep their cool. Because you know what happens when we get caught under someone that outweighs us, we start to panic and our heart rate gets up and we get a bit freaked out. And yeah, that's the biggest enemy. I've got a friend in South Africa. He's a brown belt under the Gracies, ex-special forces guy, really tough dude. He's claustrophobic. I don't know how he got in special forces, but he's claustrophobic. He's telling me he had this new guy come to his gym. He was a white belt, didn't really know too much. And the dude was about 130 kilograms. My mate's maybe about 70 kilograms. But skillful, brown belt, so almost black belt. And he got caught underneath this guy. This guy mounted him. And this guy just laid on him, put his belly in his face, and wrapped his jacket around his head. Now, my mate, he knows jiu-jitsu, right? He's pretty good. He starts freaking out because he's claustrophobic and he can't breathe. And his hands are trapped. He can't get his hands out, so he can't tap. He starts choking, and this guy choked him to sleep with his belly, basically, because he just smothered all the gaps in his face and put him to sleep. And my mate was like freaking out, hyperventilating, and fell asleep. Now, that's a brown belt against a white belt. So, yeah. I don't know. I wish I had a better answer, but there isn't something that I would teach differently to a small person, I guess, is the moral of the story. We do everything the same in our club, regardless of big or small, but there are some positions that may be applied differently. It doesn't mean it's better. So as an example, Nat's got really long legs. Can you just go slide that? So the guard that Nat's starting to play, instead of feet on hips, he uses his legs in my arms because he's got this his legs are longer than my arm, so this is a fantastic position for him. But if we go the other way, and I play spider guard against him, like this is just a joke, he's going to kill me. He's done. So does that mean spider guard's no good? No, it means horses for courses. You've got to run the right horse for the right race course. So it's the same with the positions. So it's not about having better jiu-jitsu, it's about understanding mechanics and then building someone around that right model. Okay, Americano and Kimura are essentially the same lock. They're both a figure 4 shoulder lock. Okay, it's just names. Okay, figure 4 shoulder lock. So, okay, Americano, easiest way to remember, hand points upwards.
Okay, yep.
Okay, hand points upwards, that's an Americano. Kimura is the other way. I would never do it from this position. This is not a real good position to get a Kimura from.
Oh, okay,
Kimura.
yeah.
Yeah. Generally, the general rule, this isn't 100%, there's no rules in jiu-jitsu, but the general guideline would be if he's face up, hand up.
Yep.
Yeah, if he's face down, so maybe in my guard. Face down, hand down.
Oh, okay.
Kimura.
Yeah.
Kimura's usually from bottom position.
Yeah.
Usually, not always, but usually from bottom position. I'm not really going to get... I can lock this up, but if he buries his elbow and puts all his weight that way, I'm never going to get the Americana from there. It's going to be really hard. I would have to switch out to a Chris lock. Yeah. So yeah, generally face up, hand up, face down, hand down. Does that make sense? The name's not important. Some people won't even call it that. They call it bent arm lock, figure 4 lock.
Yeah.
Key lock is the big American one.
Yeah.
They call it a key lock. But yeah, in our gym we say that's a Kimura, that's an Americana. That's the most common terminology. Cool. I think one of the things that's fallen out of me working with Dave and talking to Dave about Kenpo and something that strikes me a little bit differently about Dave, and I'm not just blowing smoke up his butt, but yeah, there's a reason why Dave and I guess, have hooked up with training, is Dave's approach to Kenpo is really similar to the way that I look at Jiu-Jitsu, and I haven't seen that in every Kenpo guy. I've seen Kenpo guys out there going, okay, these are the techniques that Epard gave us, therefore these are the techniques that you do. This is the way to deal with a punch, this is the way to deal with a grab. But how many techniques are in 155 technique syllabus that deal with the same attack? There's a bunch. So the idea is they're giving you ideas on how to use your Kenpo and how to apply the concepts and principles within Kenpo to design a response. Not everyone is going to respond to a right punch with the same technique. Okay, some are going to choose something different because it works better for them, works better for their body mechanics. And we approach Jiu-Jitsu in the same way. We don't have a syllabus at all. But the idea is I just give our guys ideas and then they go and play with them through sparring and then they come back and all of my guys look different. If you watch my guys roll, all the guys that are here, they all have completely different games. Every single one of them looks different with their jiu-jitsu. But their concepts and principles are exactly the same. They're applying the same principles of leverage, of body weight, center of gravity, all of those things. Control, controlling wrists, ankles where they need to. The concepts are the same, they just do it differently. And the way that I see Dave specifically approaches Kenpo is the same. Okay, these are the techniques, this is the ideal way to do them, but it's a guideline and it's to give you ideas on how to use your Kenpo. It doesn't mean that you're going to go out and do dance for death. You know, it just gives you ideas. For a couple of reasons. One, it's the ultimate goal of Jiu-Jitsu is to finish a fight, but really in terms of sport, you might fight 8, 9, 10, 12 times in one day. So if you can tap the guy out, then you're saving yourself a lot of effort for the later fights. So what happens if you can't finish? Well, you can win on points. So as a basic, we'll start standing. We always start standing. Okay, this is where the match starts. So points can come from a takedown, right? So there's two major factors here. One is if I force snap to the ground. One is if he voluntarily goes to the ground. Okay, so if I do a takedown, here I get 2 points. But if he feels that takedown and he drops into guard now, even though I was going for a takedown, I don't get 2 points because he stole the initiative from me. Okay, so now we're even. Okay, so there's no points. Now, the first thing that I can get points for is to pass his guard because it's seen as something incredibly difficult in Jiu-Jitsu is to pass a good guard player's legs. So if I can get through his legs, okay, now I get 3 points. Okay, so now I'm 3 up, or I'd be 5 up if I took him down and then passed his guard. Okay, now, if I get in side control, which I think most of you know, cool, or like a Keizer Gatami type position, I get no points for this because it's not really seen as a dominant position. I'm not controlling his hips, which means he can move quite well. Skilled grappler, this is not a real challenging position. Okay, so I get nothing for this. But if I can transition over to mount, Mr. Scene is incredibly dominant, I get 4 points. Okay, and 4 points is, if you get 4 points up on someone, it's going to be very hard for them to get those points back because it takes too many techniques. Okay, so 4 points. I'm not allowed to hit him, but the reason why it's worth 4 points is because this is a dominant position that I can end the fight with. Okay, the only thing I can get that's better is to force him to his back. Okay, once I get my hooks in, okay. Once I get my hooks in, I get another 4 points. Okay, the only other thing in jiu-jitsu that gets you points other than that is a sweep. Okay, so if he's on top and he's trying to pass my guard, okay, and I manage to, what sweep am I going to go for? I catch him, I get 2 points for that. And they're all the points, that's it. So, you hear it all the time, jiu-jitsu coaches say position before submission. Yeah, so don't kind of just jump for the sub, because if you miss the sub and you don't have a position, you're going to miss points, sport-wise. In a fight, you jump straight to the sub and you miss it. It could be a lot worse, right? There's a lot more at stake. So the idea is, even though it's a sport, a lot of people use that against us when they're arguing this martial art or that martial art. The points are set up on a real fight. Okay, I can't win a real fight, really, if his feet are on my hips and he's on his back. Even though he's on his back, he's controlling distance, so I need to pass the guard. That's why I get rewarded points. Why is mount worth 4? Why is back mount worth 4? Because they're the two positions I can literally kill my opponent from. But I'm not likely to do that from any other position. Yeah? Makes sense?